Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, how to build your own economy to be a success.
Big Success with the professor and Mary Lynn.
Mary Lynn, did you know that you never see a one-handed economist?
Why?
They always have the other hand. You know, like on the one hand and on the other hand. The problem is we're left to guess what to do because it seems like everything they say contradicts themselves. So we just say, build your own economy. Hi, I'm George Kruger, a.k.a. the professor.
And I'm Mary Lynn. So, George, what you're saying is economists always contradict themselves?
Yes, they've got these two hands and they feel like they have to use them.
Oh, so economists are like weather forecasters.
Yes, I guess you're right, Mary Lynn. They both deal with uncertainty. It's a word that you hear or think about a lot these days, right? Because we live in times that are so uncertain. The world changes so rapidly. Mm-hmm. We have new innovation hitting us. There's so many things going on all the time. It's hard for us to keep up.
And so how do you live with uncertainty? How do you face the great unknown?
Aha, I have the answer.
You have the answer over there.
Think like an entrepreneur. It's amazing how entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurial mindset is ideally suited for uncertain times. You know, we always say big success is life on your own terms. You're the person in charge of your life. Just like an entrepreneur controls a business, you control this magnificent enterprise, your life. Entrepreneurs know that you can't predict the future.
So they don't try. Instead, do what entrepreneurs do. Create your future.
But not just any future. It's the future that you want. You build your own economy day by day, moment by moment.
Let's pull out the professor's whiteboard for 3 components to build your own economy.
All that stuff in the closet, Mary Lynn, crashed like the stock market on a bad day.
That it did. All right, so now let's dive into these 3 components because it sounds like fun to build your own economy with all the uncertainty in the world. The first component is inflows. So, Professor, tell us what that means.
Well, so it primarily means think of it as income. We may talk about it that way. It's the money you get from your salary, from your wages, from bonuses, from commissions, from pretty much any source where you've worked or your money has made money for you. The key thing is not how much you have, but how much you plan to increase your income next year.
Now how can you plan that? With uncertainty and everything, how can you I could say, well, I want to increase my income by $1 million next year, but I mean, I have to be realistic.
You have to be realistic. The first thing here is to set a goal. I don't want to just increase my income. I want to increase my income by $500 a month or by 5% or something like that. And so then we start mapping out, okay, we can do that this way. We could ask our boss for a 5% raise. What if they don't give it to us? Okay, let's have a plan. Let's have a plan B. What could I do in my spare time to maybe make a little extra money? You basically plan your way through it, but it's all very short term, keeping your goals really close at hand. And you're going to build that plan for 3 to 5 years and then ask a very important question. How are you going to get from where you are now to where you want to be? Be on the lookout for opportunities that are going to match well with your passions and your proficiencies, and then go for the ones that you think are the most profitable. Mary Lynn, it's just an amazingly powerful combination when you're able to take your passions and proficiencies and meet them up with profit.
Absolutely. That is the way to go. All right, our second component now to build your own economy is outflows. I think we have an idea what that means, but
yeah, well, and it's pretty clear cut, right? So this is all the money that's going out the door, right? So the inflows are money coming in the door, outflows are money going out the door. So this is for our expenses, our mortgage, our utilities, our food, our clothing, our cars.
It seems like this is easier to control.
It is, absolutely, and that's why. It's where you want to start if you're wanting to try to improve your personal economy. Start with inflows or
outflows.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Start with outflows because, while you project your income to grow, you got to be careful about those future increases in expenses no matter what, because what we see a lot of people do is I get a 10% raise and I spend 15% more. We do it because we forget about the effective taxes. I mean, there's reasons why that happens. That's not just carelessness.
But it's not just that you're spending more. There are sometimes unexpected costs and expected increases that come along.
Or costs that they're a little bit hidden, like taxes are kind of hidden from us because, we think we're getting a $10,000 pay raise. Well, it turns out that $3,000 of that is going to go out for taxes.
Right.
So we go out and spend $10,000, but we've only got $7,000 in hand. So something like that. So
and there's also inflation, right? There's
Absolutely.
been a lot of worry these days about, at least in the U.S., what will happen with inflation.
So you've got to think about that costs are going up and plan that as part of your income plan, that, okay, I'm going to be getting this much more inflows, but I've got taxes. I've also got inflation that's going to hit me, and inflation is basically a tax.
Right. Well, suddenly I go to the grocery store and I notice that, when I check out, it's a lot more than it was 5 months ago.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think that we forget to factor into this is you got to enjoy some of the fruits of your labor now. I mean, to constantly some people are okay with that. If you are, that's great. But most people, if you get a nice bonus, they want to be able to spend part of that on a nicer vacation or
you got to reward yourself.
Yes, and so and that's okay. You just got to make sure that you're taking in the whole picture. So controlling your outflows is going to help you have more options and create a more sustainable personal economy.
All right. We're talking about 3 components to build your own economy. Think like an entrepreneur. And the third component is surplus.
Yeah. Now, in business, we call a surplus, it's profit, right? So but it's literally income minus expenses, or inflows minus outflows is equal to our surplus or our profit. And you plan on a surplus, right? No deficit spending here. We can't afford to do that like the government seems to be able to.
Well, we can't print money. If we do print money, we go to jail.
That's right. Although some people take a credit card. It's kind of our equivalent of printing money in some cases, right? So,
right.
But with the surplus you generate, you can invest, and this is the key. This is the key. So you can invest. Your money now starts working for you instead of all the work for the money being by you. So not to buy you.
So right. but this is like, when a business scales,
yes.
right? So that because you can't just be always trading time for money. And so this is like scaling your economy.
Exactly. And it's getting your money working for you. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful thing, because eventually what you really want is for your Department of Treasury to dwarf your Department of Labor. That's a winning formula. Yeah. See, so
right.
It's what you want, the freedom to work when you want, where you want, with who you want.
All right. Well, this is powerful stuff, Professor. So let's review the 3 components to build your own economy, so that the uncertainty of the world does not affect you. The first component is inflows. So you want to do what you can to increase the amount of money you have coming in, and set a plan for that 3 to 5 years out.
Yep.
Number 2 is outflows, which is easier to control. What can you control as far as the money going out the door?
Yep.
And then number 3 is surplus, because if you get that right, you got more inflows than outflows. You're going to have a surplus, plus you want to work on making your money work for you so that surplus grows.
Very good, Marilyn. You get an A.
All right. Excellent. Thank you.
So watch the inflows and the outflows in your economy. Build a baseline for future flows of money. It leads to big success.
Want to build your personal economy on a solid foundation of personal fulfillment? Our free life purpose quiz can help. You'll find it at Big Success. That's big with 2 G's, success.com. Now, George, here's a question.
Yes.
We just talked about inflows, outflows, and surplus. Did you know that Thomas Edison lost $23 million?
I did not know that.
Well, you're going to find out how he lost it and what his reaction was to it. It's quite powerful. Tune in next time.
And we thank you for listening this time.
Until next time,
here's to your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.